Welcome to Women in the Fore. In today's special edition, we'll be focusing on different features that we had on the second quarter of this season. So we're looking at those women that did exceptional, those women that inspired, those women that made us aspire to be greater, to do better, and to be better. In today's special feature, we focus on the stories that made our second quarter unique. Women that blew our mind and shared stories that completely moved us from this universe because they were more than just women, they were superwomen. In this edition of Special Women in the Fore, we're going to focus on three special women. The first being Fatima Kalima, the second Miss Veronica, and lastly Mimi. We're focusing on women who, above all odds, did greatness. We're starting with the story of Fatima Kalima, a lady whom we lost recently, but she was a go-getter, she was an advocate for youth with disabilities, but also a woman that stood alone in the fight against people and youth with disabilities.
Zapezeka kuti nachita mwayi munomo mubangwe pali bungwe lina lake timati aisi kumafikira mavolontiya nthawi imeneyo ndikuna zabwera mavolontiya kuchokera ku Korea amafuna adzayambitse project imene inake amaitcha kuti bridge project ndi atayamba kuyenda muderamu a executive director aisaja anatipanga introduce kunena kuti tionane nawo mavolontiya aja mina makolo awo amatsekera nyumba ya ndi pamene tinapa poyamba timapangira kwathu nyumba mwa kwathu pakhomo kwathu then nazapezeka kuti tapangapo from 2010 up to 2014 4 years kumakaso kuti tikapita kokagona mama wakudzuka kusamba ukafika pa sitting room kumakhanga tuli office ikakaya ndawi kudya nsima kubwereraso with the same yani mavolontiers then inokena nazapezeka kuti 2014 itazabwera gulu lina la mavolontier pamene anatipangira fundraise kuti oyambe anatigulira malo anowa kenaka enawo kuti mangira first block imene anaimanga panopa koma nthawi imene amaimanga block oyo sanaimange kuti ndi class koma anaimanga ngati kuti ndi laboratory yoti tiziphunzitsa makompyuta iyiso isanabwere then kenaka taona kuti ayi tisamaphunzitse makompyuta tinapangano combine anacha maphunzitsa iyi kinapeza kuti tapangano timaklasi tifika tili ndi basic elementary ndi advanced mu basic class ana amene tapanga identify manyumba timayika mmene momo ayambe kudziwa kulemba kuwerenga adziwenso environment chifukwa mwana amene wakhala kuti ali ndo nthawi yayitali kuti ayambe kuona munthu mwina amaopa amatani ndife timayamba kuasula kayanaka for iye akakhala kuti azindikira ndi pamene timapititsa ku elementary akapita ku elementary amakhalaponso chaka chimodzi then kupita ku advanced akapita ku advanced ana amene ajano pamene timawatenga amene ali ndi kuthekera kuti akhoza kukakhala ma regular schools timakapangitsa enroll koma amene ali osamva timayesitsa kuti mwina apite ku Montfort kapena kumere kwa Vumbweko ndi amenenso ali osaona timatumiza masukulu amene ali otani osaona ndi tili mkatikati momuja tinayilembetsano bungwe ngati NGO ndi ndinambopanga maactivity osiyanasiyana moti pakadali panopa timapanga za advocacy za HIV AIDS za gender ndi last 2016 tinalandira president wa Lions Club the whole anabwera kuno ndarabwera no anazapezeka kunena kuti anatifunsa kuti mukufuna kuti ineyo ndikupangireni chani ndi ife tinamuza kunata tinayamba kalekale kuna kuti tikufuna kazingani chosatani osabeka 2017 2018 2019 nangoona abwera anthu afika kuti president wa Lions Club anabwera uja watituma kuti mutipase malo timange laboratory. Ndipo nthawi imene amakamba choncho atabweretsa chilichonse.
Wow.
Magalimoto atabweretsa simenti chana chilichonse mungoti zoti timange apo. Then nthawi imeneyo ndali ndili ndekha brother anga anapita kulungu then namwimbira ndanangoti apatse pa mtundapo. Then anapeza kuti the same day anayambira foundation. Ndingakuza kuti malo anowa anamangidwa 2 months.
2 months.
2 months.
And it's very beautifully painted. Mapaint wake so ndikuona kuti amapanga very artistic painting wake.
Kwambiri. Ndiyitu ndempa amene niwe anapeza kuti anamanga malo ano laboratory lino. Ndi chinthu choti chinayambira kalekale 2010. Poyamba kuchuka chinyamata olumala zungwina kana ngoti kulira laptop. Ndeti maputsa mwina chinyamata 10 pa laptop acha how to use a computer. Ndiye ababa kuti maputsa chinyamata amene ali ndi ulumali kuitsa ntchito computer timaputsa kuti angapange bwanji mwina makadi kapena kuika nyimbo mumafoni chani kuti akatha ziyimira pauka. Mwachifukwa cha covid panopa maklasi awo atinayimika. Mwene wake anatilamula kuti tiyambe tayimika anthu asatenge chani covid chifukwa cha ndi moti chifukwa chake mwapeza kuti mulibemo achinyamata. Tikungodikira kuti zonse ziyende bwinobwino. Ndi pompanonso timapanga za physiotherapy. Ana amene samatha kuyenda amene amaoneka kuti aziwongoledwa aziwalo. Eugene imeneyo anatimangira ndi a World Connect kuchokera ku British Embassy. Anangomanga kungotigulira zidanato zakuti zinazo muzipanga nokha. Ndi timapanga fundraising drama kumulipira fees chani kuti azathandiza anaja. Ndi chifukwa cha covid tinayamba tatseka kaye ndinoona kuti anaja mavuto aja akukula. Ndi kuyambira pa 1 March tatseguliranso kuti mafiso aja azipitiriza. Ndipo mpanonso tinapezeka kuti tinakumana ndi enanso aku Germany azungu aku Germany amenewo atiyambitsiranso project inayonena kuti omwe aja tinayamba kalekale ngati adult literacy aja amene aja kuti tapanganso identify tayambanso kuwaphunzitsa achinyamata ndi pano nditapange kuli ndi azimayiwo ndi anthuso alungalunga amene samatha kulemba samatha kuwerenga kunena kuti adziwe kulemba adziwe kuwerenga ndi akadziwa zimenezozo kutsogoloko tidzapangitsa ntchito zamanja. Ndi maclasses amenewo amayamba masana amayamba 2 o'clock malire 4 amaphunziranso pati pompano. Ndi timakhaso ndi misonkhano ya azimayi amene ali ndi ana olumala chifukwa nthawi zambiri kholo la mwana olumala amakonda kutaya mtima chifukwa nthawi zambiri makolo ana akaphunzira amakhala kuti amapanga take over responsibility pamene mwana amene ali ndi ulumali makolo aja amaona ngati kuti mwana wawo sadzawathandiza. Ndi ife timatenga makolo aja ndikuwakhazika pasi ndikuwawunikira ndi tinapanga connect ndi ma institution amene amapangitsa ngongole ndi azimayi amenewo amatenga ngongole kuti azipanga ma business ndi amapanga ma business ndomakabweza ngongole zija motiningana kuti ulendo uno atenganso May ndi udindo wa number 5.
That was Fatima Kalima. And can we please have a moment of silence just celebrating the beauty that her soul was. This beautiful soul allowed for nothing to put her down. She was a soul that did the most. We're calling on you, as you can see today we're streaming. We're calling on you to continue the fight that she already started. You can do so much to assist her. You can find us here at our offices at times stationed in Blantyre or in Lilongwe or in Mzuzu, or you can send a message to 1895 where you can be able to send any kind of assistance and we can link you to her organization because it's still running and the young people that were there continue to go there. Now, coming up next is a lady who said upon herself, I do not need an MP. I do not need a leader of parliament. I do not need any leader of any party. It will take me to make a difference in my village. It will take me to be the one that starts to advocate for development in my village. This is the story of Veronica and how she has changed the face of her village. mami maswera bwanji
Taswera maswera bwanji
ndipo tutaenda ulendo lwa utali kuti ndikupezeni
hayi ndithu matipeza kuno
eya ndikomano choyambirira anthu akudziweni
ine zina anga ndine Veronica Kuchikonde ndimachokera muzi uno wa Mulomba
yes
kunoko ndikumene ndakulira yava nde pakali panopa ndimapanga zinthu zosiyana-siyana mmuzimu ndithu
nde chinthu chimodzi chomwe ine chinandiwangisa kuti ndifika kunoko anthu kuna timapokoso ambirimbiri Miriam mupanga women in the fore mupanga women in the fore pali nzimayi uku upanga zinthu zodabwisa kwa basi chifukwa anthu amanalariya ichikakha chitukuko azipanga ndi ma MP azipanga ndi nduna zosiyana-siyana komano inuyo nzimayi ona kuti you are just there munaganiza kunana kuti no let me do something about my home. Tell me your story mama.
Ineyo nakulira kunoko koma ndikamachoka kunoko kuti primary school yanga imene maphunzira kunoko kunali kutali maphunzira kuzomba ku St Joseph Primary School nde kuchoka so kumene kunazaphunzira so school inakeso kumuziko kuno timati nakumba school koma pano ana St Antonio Primary nde kumene koko ndikutali ndithu nde ana ambiri akunoko kuti ayambe primary school amapezeka kuti ayamba kale atakula nde akayamba atakula amapezeka kuti ntchito school jaisira panjira nde chimene chocho chimakhala choona kuti kusona kunoko ngati kukhala anthu osaphunzira okhaokha kudzati kuka bwanji nde tinaona kuti ayi nde mwayuta pezeka pang'ono pena pake tinamba ndi kachisakasa kupanga nursery school kena kono nursery school ija kena kono tinazama no building yeni ya nursery school kena kono nde tinazama kaka junior primary school kuti ana kunoko mwine wake aphunzire kena kono mwamwayi inafika no pofika no pa primary school full primary school nde ili konkuno ndikuonesani kumusiko ndinapereka munda wanu mpaka naso pali ground amasewera apo mpira
nkupereka kunaona ati anthu abange zoterezi koma tunkhani yomwe ili mkamwe yomwe anthu yadabwisa kwambiri yomwe inanana ati koma nzimayi this is a true woman in the fore inali yokhuzana ndi akuti mmapanga mathanki amene amapanga recycle rainwater
zonadi
imene ndi nkhani yomwe ineyo kwambiri chifukwa nkhani tikomatu nkhani yomwe timakamba ya za skulu iti kufunanso titaimvetsetsa bwinobwino koma kwambiri choyambira manano anu mufuna ndionetse za mathankizi
okay chabwino ende zimene zozodi nzoona ndifeke ndifuna ndikupitisani apo pa nyumba ya mchemwali wanga imene ndinatha kuathandiza kuti akhale ndi thanki nde ifeyo yodi kunoko timamanga mathanki amadzi mathanki amadzi amenewa timamanga ndi cholinga chokuti azikolola madzi nde mathanki oti mamanga mosiyana-siyana timamanga ma 5,000 liters 7,000 liters 10,000 liters kumapita kusogolo malingana ndi mmene akufunira munthu nde madzi amenewa amathandiza zinthu zosiyana-siyana tikhoza kumanga pa chipatala tikhoza kumanga pa skulu tikhoza kumanga m'manyumba tikhozanso kumangaso even ku famu kuti azithandiza kwambiri za ulimi nthawi kwambiri madzi akakhala kuti asiya ngakhale so mtawuni mmene ndi zinthu zofunika kwambiri ndithudi nde thanki mozi meti namanga kunoko ndi imeneyi ndithu
alright wow
ndithu
alright ndiphunzitseni thanki zimachitika ndi chani
tikamanga thanki bwinobwino meti amangira nde timayikano ngati tingana zoti riji pipe ija ndikuyika pamene pajapo nde apo pakaona apo pamakhala kuti pali uje filter kuti madzi aja ngati akakhala kuchoka ndi zinyalala azikhala osefedwa kulowa mkatimo ndithu nde madzi amenemo ndi madzi abwino kwambiri amakhala madzi ozizira ndithu madzi amene wawati makolola nthawi amene kuti mvula yayamba ilango kuti madzi aja akakololedwa bwinobwino mvula ikamabwera siku ndi siku anthu amagwiritsa ntchito madzi pamenepa mpaka na nthawi yofuna kuti madzi aja mvula ikufuna kusiya mvula ikasiya timalangiza anthu kunena kuti bwanji madzi wapoti ndi madzi abwino mwina muzimwa mpaka na nthawi yokuti mvula so izabwere nde mwina zinthu zina ndi zina muzigwirisira ntchito mwina kunsinje koma nthawi yokuti mvula yagwa madziwo amagwiritsidwa kusukira mbale kujabira zovala kusamba china chilichonse kumadziso anthu samapita iyayi
moti madzi awo panopa tatenga tithakumwa
kwambiri
so mami ine ndifunse chinapangisa kuti inuyo moyamba kuganiza nona kuti inuyo ndinu mmazaona kuti nkhani zomangamanga zamati ndi azibambo
ndi azibambo
teni khanane limodzi ndiyese madziwo kuti ndiatunge kuti tionona kuti kwenikweni akuti madziwo angokoma munandiuza kuti madziwo
ndokoma madzi amene amagoneka amakhala amene alilimo amakuchita ngati ali munsuku munamwapo madzi amunsuku
madzi
amene amakhala ngati
very very clean This this lady taught us that waiting for government, waiting for leaders in parties, waiting for influential people will not make a difference. You can make the difference. As a woman, you can start by just telling yourself, it begins with me. And yes, as the logo of Times always says, as the stanza of Times always says, it's about time. It's about time, women, for you to stand and make a difference like Veronica did. Coming up next is a story that not only broke my spirit, but it broke my heart as well. As this is an issue that is going on with young people all over Malawi. This fashion designer, this artist, this creative, this entrepreneur lost everything. And this led to her mental health illness. And not only did she fight it, but she won and became an aggressor over it. She became a fighter over it. She's not just a victor. She's a woman spreading her story and spreading her wings as she colors the bodies of women in her fabrics. This is Mimi, and a designer who has done so much for me. And I'd just like to appreciate her for taking the time to tell us the story of how she was broken and now she is mending. You can see that she's constantly smiling. This is the Mimi that I've known, the Miriam that I've known from the day I met her to today. But behind this very beautiful smile is a very sad story. Recently, a few months ago, we've been hearing about mental health issues when it comes to Malawi.
Yes.
And you are a survivor of such.
I am.
You're a single mom. Currently raising a beautiful, oh my god, her daughter is to die for. Her daughter is beautiful, gorgeous
She's
girl.
An angel.
Yes,
she is.
But you went through some issues that almost that caused you to be suicidal.
I was.
And you survived because of prayer and a few other people that stood in your life.
Yes.
Take us through the journey.
So it's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
So I started out in 2015, as I mentioned, and I was quite successful. Like I had this huge not just a huge following, but I had a huge clientele. But then somewhere around 2019, with the first hit of corona, I had this consignment of mine. It went, I don't know, something happened. It went missing or whatever it is. I don't know if the shipper or my agent was affected or whatever, but all I know is I never heard from her after the corona hit. And my goods worth millions were stuck in China. And at the time I was expecting this consignment, I happened to take a bit of some debt, like it was hundreds of thousands, because I was like, let me settle a bit of my rent, let me do this, let me do that, and then I'll settle it once my stuff gets here, because I already had clients waiting. It was just a matter of the goods getting here, and I was just supposed to hand them over and they give me the money. And with nothing in hand, I happened to find myself in debt from hundreds of thousands to millions. Like, I'm not talking about $1 million or $2 million, but you know, because I was like, I can get 200 or 300,000 even from a loan shark who's going to like give it to me at a 50% interest. That's fine, because I'm getting the money anyway. So if this is the easiest money I can get, then why not?
Yeah.
So I did that, and I found myself in huge debt. Like, it was huge.
What are we talking about? How are we looking? How far are we looking here?
It was a
20s of millions, 30s?
No, not 20s or 30s, but beyond 4.
Beyond 4. That's still a lot for.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's still quite a
lot,
bit.
because you'd think that it just got there like at once, but then it increases. Like, you know how
it's got interest on top of it.
It's got interest, and you're not getting money from anywhere.
Yeah.
And after Corona happened, events stopped.
Yeah.
And all this, so I found myself in huge debt.
Yeah.
And emotionally, I wasn't invested in my business or anything else, for that matter. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do anything basically. So from being this well-known designer who does this amazing stuff, I hardly had the drive to give myself into the business the way that I used to before. From being someone who had industrial machines worth millions, because I had like lots of them, to having the ones that you saw at home, like that one my mother-in-law gave it to me a few months before she passed. She gave it to me, yes, because I was reduced from having those industrial machines to having the the manual machines, and I didn't know how to use them. I had to learn like in one day after one of the people who was helping me out, after he had just left and I had nobody else to do whatever. I had to be there and figure it out on my own, from having assistants, from having several tailors, to having no one and just me. So now I had to do everything on my own. I couldn't even afford a pair of slippers. To give you a clear picture of how bad it was, one time my sister, she stays in Mwanza, so she came over and found these pep slippers, the Australia ones, and she asked my mom, "Mom, how come you've now started getting slippers from Pape?" And mom was like, "No, they're not mine, they're Mimi's." And she laughed and she's like, "So Mimi now can afford slippers from Pape?"
Oh wow.
Oh
wow.
It got to that.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford a roof over my head. That's why there's all this stuff in my mother's house. That's why there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
All this would be at my place, but I couldn't afford a roof over me at all. As I told you earlier, I had to now move into this house,
which was
that was
20,000.
20,000.
And you couldn't even
Unfinished.
afford
I couldn't afford a 20,000 because whatever little money got my way, I had to take it and give it to the people that I owe. Even if it's 10,000, whatever amount, And I had to go to the hawkers, like in our community, and go like, I need diapers, but I don't have money. And we're talking about panda diapers that cost 100 kwacha each. Your kid goes to school like from having Huggies, like from using Huggies diapers to using the panda ones, and the other ones that just leak anyhow, and you can't even afford those. So just go like, I'll return when I get some money. And then that would be the life. And for me to get out of debt, it was all by the grace of God. And I'm so grateful to my mom. I've never really had the chance. Not like I've never really had the chance, but I just, when I see her, I'm just so filled with this emotion. And Peter, I'm like, we're here because she took a huge chunk of her pension scheme, of her pension payout rather, and gave it to the people that I owe to pay off some of the debt. And my family, my relatives had to chip in. And sometimes for me to be online, a friend had to send me like 40 MB, which is like 100 kwacha. I'd have to send one of my friends and be like, I'll send her, please call me, and be like, I don't have, when she calls out to her, I don't have a bundle, and she'll send me 40 MB because she also has just 100 kwacha. So that was the life. And then you're coming from debt, and then heartbreak happens.
Yes,
it's
almost like it's not even stopping.
Nothing. Like it was just one thing after the other. There was just this plethora of emotions and hardly enough mental strength, hardly any wisdom to process everything. It was crazy. It was bad, So we're talking about someone who's been the love of your life.
Yes.
You've literally grown up together, and things just happen, and things that you could easily sort out, they just, And then you're trying to work from that, and this one's been your support system. Like he's really been there rooting for you, and all this and all that, and then he's no longer in the, like maybe he's in the picture, but not like for you because of the kid. And then you're working through that. You're trying to put yourself together, and he just disappears. He goes missing, and it was everywhere. It was on social media, and people were talking. People were like, Mimi knows everything. Mimi knows where he is. Mimi knows what's happening. And I was beyond traumatized. And with the debt, I was already suicidal because I would feel like rushing in front of a fast-moving car and just get it all finished. I never really thought about taking any poison or whatever, but I just felt like
it should just happen quick.
Something quick. I just wanted something quick. I felt so worthless. I felt so empty. Like I didn't even see beyond tomorrow. I'd never saw beyond tomorrow, because every other day there would be someone asking me, where's my money? What's happening? Where's my money? What's happening? And it's not like you weren't trying. It's not like I ever took the debt and bought myself a handbag or ever bought something or whatever. I was simply trying to, like, you know, move forward in life. But then things happen. Like, there's some things that happen that are literally beyond your control. But then you have to find yourself. And you don't just find yourself in a day. It's a process. And that process, it takes time. It depends on, I don't know, I wouldn't say, because I'm sure the factors would vary from person to person. Because I'm one who really trusts and believes in God, but I was truly affected. Sometimes I would feel like killing myself on my way to prayer.
To church,
you know? I would feel like killing myself. And actually on the 30th of December, I just wanted to go to Sochi Mountain and spend the night there. Not to pray, not for anything. I only had one thing in mind. I was like, Lord, if you care for me, if you have a purpose for my life, you keep me safe and you allow me to get down from the mountain alive. But if I'm simply useless, if everything that I'm doing is literally nonsense, then
in vain,
take me. That's what I was planning to do.
I'm putting myself in the ocean.
Yes, that's what I wanted to do on the 30th of December. And somehow my cousin came over, because I wanted to drop something at church. Like, I was actually making a quote for one of our artists at church. Her name is Abord. She's amazing. I was making an outfit for her, like this huge hooded top. And I was making it in tears, because I was like, as soon as I give this to her, I'm heading up the mountain. And whatever happens, like, I don't care. And I was getting ready to go and deliver. My cousin came over and I was like, why is he even here? And I jokingly asked him, can you drop me over? And he accepted. You know, I didn't even know he was going to accept, you know. And he dropped me off, and after that we went to ShopRite. We talked about a few things, and he's one person whom I open up to a lot. We talked about a few things, but I never told him what
you're intending to do.
I never told him that. But yeah, there are things like that happen. So one thing that's kept me though is the word. I go to RFP, as I've mentioned, and our pastor like draws so much on the word of God, and like, it's a lot of what he's taught us that helped me to, like, pull myself together during the times when I think my life is just nothing, my life is just worthless. So I could have easily given myself to drugs, I could have easily given myself to alcohol or whatever, but I decided to give myself to the word of God. So it was literally like, I don't know if that's how people who drink feel, like they just go like, I need to do this, I need to do this. So for me, I just feel like I need to watch this video, I need to watch this, I need to read more about this word, I need to do this, like just so I fill my mind with that I'm worth something, I'm enough, I matter, despite what I've been through. And one of the things that's very hard for us to do, it's easy for one to forgive someone, but it's very difficult for you to forgive yourself.
Well, ladies, that is the show that we had for you today. What is your take when it comes to women in the fore? What is your take when it comes to the woman that you would like to see? Well, feel free to always vote and watch, and feel free to always tell us if you want to see somebody that we have not pinpointed yet. You can always comment. Right now we're streaming. You can always comment down below, or else you can also send a text message to 1895 and simply hashtag it Women in the Fore and tell us the person that you'd like to see on the program. Every single quarter we'll be bringing you the most notable stories of the quarter, and this coming December, you can vote for the person that you would like to see featured in the closing feature of the year. This was me on Women in the Fore. I've been your host, Miriam Tambo. Until next week, please keep it locked.
have all your MASM information in one place. With the MASM mobile app, all MASM members register on the MASM mobile app. Download the app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Install